Welcome to my channel Bookish English 2. Have you ever tried to listen to English, but your mind feels lost after just a few seconds? You hear the words but you don't understand, and slowly, you lose confidence. But what if I told you that you can understand daily English easily, step by step, just by listening the right way? Stay with me, because something very simple might change everything for you today. Chapter 1. The moment you feel lost. There is a moment that almost every English learner knows, but very few people talk about honestly. You press play on a video or audio. At first you feel excited. You tell yourself, "Today I will understand." The speaker starts talking and for a few seconds everything feels okay. You catch a word here, maybe a phrase there. But then suddenly, the speed increases, the sentences become longer, and your mind begins to slip away. You are still hearing the sound, but the meaning is gone. It feels like the words are running faster than your brain, and no matter how hard you try, you cannot catch them. In that moment, something quiet but heavy happens inside you. You feel lost. It is not just about the language, it becomes emotional. You start to think, why can't I understand this? You look at the video time, and only 1 minute has passed, but it already feels too difficult. You try again, you rewind, you listen one more time, hoping this time it will be different. But again, the same thing happens. The words come, they pass, and they leave without staying in your mind. Slowly, your excitement turns into frustration. You begin to feel like maybe English is not for you. Maybe you are too slow. Maybe other people are just better. And this thought, even if it is small, starts to grow. Many learners stop at this exact moment. Not because they are lazy, not because they do not want to learn, but because this feeling is too uncomfortable. It makes you feel small, and nobody likes to feel small. So you pause the video. You close the app. You say, I will try later, but later becomes tomorrow, and tomorrow becomes next week. And without even realizing it, you start moving away from English, not because you cannot learn it, but because you felt lost too many times. Let me tell you a simple story. There was a learner, just like you, who really wanted to understand English. Every day, he opened videos and tried to listen. He believed that if he just kept listening, one day everything would become clear. But each time he tried, the same pattern happened. At the start, he felt hopeful. After a few seconds, confusion came. After a minute, frustration came. And after a few minutes, he gave up. One day, he said something very honest to himself. He said, "Maybe I am not made for English." That sentence hurt him, but it also felt true to him at that time. Now pause for a moment and think about this. Have you ever felt the same? Have you ever sat there, listening, but not understanding, and slowly feeling like you are falling behind? If yes, then I want you to know something very important. You are not alone. This is not your personal failure. This is a very common experience. Almost every strong English speaker you see today has gone through this exact moment. The difference is not that they never felt lost. The difference is what happened after that feeling. The real problem is not that English is too fast. The real problem is not that your brain is too slow. The real problem is that nobody teaches you how to listen in the right way. You are told to listen more, practice more, try harder, but nobody explains what your brain is actually doing during listening. So you keep repeating the same action, expecting a different result, and when it does not happen, you blame yourself. This is where the pain begins, not in the language, but in your belief about yourself. Think about it like this. If you are trying to lift something very heavy without knowing the correct way, you will struggle, not because you are weak, but because you are using the wrong method. The same thing happens with English listening. You are putting in effort, but the method is not helping you. So instead of feeling stronger, you feel more tired, and slowly, your confidence starts to disappear. But here is something that can change everything for you. What if the problem is not your ability, but the way you are listening? Just take a second and really think about that. What if you are not bad at English? What if you have just been practicing in a way that makes it harder than it should be? This question is powerful because it opens a new door. It tells you that maybe you do not need to become smarter or faster. Maybe you just need a better way. Imagine how different it would feel if you could listen and actually understand even one full sentence. Not 10 sentences, not the whole video, just one clear sentence that makes sense to you. That small moment would feel like a victory, and that victory would give you energy, and that energy would make you want to continue. This is how real learning starts, not with pressure, but with small, clear success. So if you are in that moment right now, if you feel lost when you listen, do not close this door. Do not decide that English is too hard for you. Instead, stay here for a little longer, because what you are feeling is not the end of your journey. It is actually the beginning of understanding how to learn the right way. And once you see that, everything starts to change, slowly but surely, in a way that finally makes sense. Chapter 2. Listening is not just hearing. You are not failing, you are just using your ears, but not using your attention in the right way. This is something very important, and today it can change how you learn forever. Many learners believe that listening means hearing sounds. They press play, they hear English, and they think they are practicing. But inside, nothing is really changing. The sound comes and goes, but the meaning does not stay. And then they feel confused. They ask themselves, why am I listening every day, but I still do not understand? If you have ever felt this, I want you to stop and take a deep breath, because today you will understand something that most learners never realize. Listening is not just hearing. Hearing is easy. Your ears do it automatically. Even if you are tired, even if you are not focused, you can still hear sound. But listening is different. Listening needs attention. Listening needs connection. Listening means your mind is awake, your focus is active, and you are trying to understand the idea behind the words. This is the real difference. And once you see this difference, everything starts to become clearer. Let me show you something simple. Imagine you are sitting in a room, and someone is speaking English in the background. You can hear the sound. You know someone is talking. But if I ask you, what did they say? You may not know. This is hearing without listening. Now imagine another moment. You are watching a very simple English video. You look at the speaker, you listen carefully. You try to understand one sentence. Maybe you catch a few words. Maybe you understand the feeling. In that moment, you are not just hearing. You are listening. And this small change makes a very big difference. Many learners try to listen to long audios and fast videos. They think more time means more learning. But this is not true. If your mind is not connected, you are just hearing noise again and again. That is why you feel tired. That is why you lose motivation. Your brain is working, but it is not getting clear results. So it feels like a waste of energy. And slowly, you start to believe that listening is hard. But the truth is, the method is wrong, not you. I want you to imagine a different way. You listen to a very short sentence. Something simple, something clear. You do not rush, you do not try to understand everything. You just focus on one idea. For example, you hear, I am going to the market. You stop for a moment. You think about it. You imagine the person walking to the market. You see it in your mind. Now the sentence is not just sound, it is a picture, it is a meaning. This is real listening. At the beginning, this may feel slow. You may think, why am I listening to only one sentence? But this is how your brain learns. It learns step by step. It needs time to connect sound with meaning. It needs repetition. It needs simple input. If you give your brain too much too fast, it gets confused. But if you give it small, clear pieces, it starts to understand naturally. And when understanding starts, confidence follows. You do not need to understand everything today. You do not need to catch every word. That is not the goal. The goal is to understand a little more than yesterday. Even one clear sentence is progress. Even one moment of understanding is a win. And these small wins are powerful. They build your belief. They tell your mind, yes, I can do this. And once your belief grows, your learning becomes stronger. Let me speak to you directly. If you feel slow, it is okay. If you do not understand fast English, it is okay. You are learning. You are growing. You are building something new inside your mind. This takes time. It takes patience. But it works. Every strong English speaker you see today started like this. They did not understand everything. They did not feel confident at the start. But they stayed. They listened. Not just with their ears, but with their attention. And here is something beautiful. One day, without even noticing, you will start to understand more. You will hear a sentence, and it will make sense. You will not need to stop and think too much. It will feel natural. And in that moment, you will smile. Because you will remember the days when everything felt impossible. And now, slowly, it is becoming possible. So from today, change one small thing. Do not just hear English. Listen with your mind. Focus on meaning, not just sound. Take it slow. Give yourself time. Trust the process. You are not behind. You are just starting the right way now. And that is something powerful. There is one small trick that makes listening easier, and you will learn it next. Chapter 3. Start with very simple English. You do not need more pressure. You do not need harder lessons. You need something very different and very powerful. You need simple English. I want you to hear this clearly, because it can change everything for you. If English feels heavy, if listening feels painful, if you feel tired after just a few minutes, it is not because you are weak. It is because you are starting from the wrong place. You are trying to run before you can walk, and your mind is asking you for something easier. But nobody told you that it is okay to go slow. Many learners believe that difficult content means real learning. They open fast videos. They choose advanced lessons. They listen to long conversations. And they feel proud at the beginning because it looks serious. It looks like hard work. But inside, something else is happening. Their brain is confused. The words are too many. The speed is too fast. The meaning is not clear. So what happens next is very natural. They stop understanding. They lose focus. They feel frustrated. And slowly, they start to believe that English is not for them. But let me tell you something honest. Difficult English does not make you strong. It makes you tired. It breaks your confidence. It creates distance between you and the language. And the more you stay in that space, the more you feel stuck. This is why so many learners study for months, even years, but still cannot understand simple sentences in real life. They were not learning step by step. They were fighting something too big, too early. Now imagine a different path, a softer path, a smarter path. You open a video, and the English is slow. The sentences are short. The words are familiar. You listen, and this time, something feels different. You understand a little. Not everything, but something. And that small understanding gives you a feeling you have not felt in a long time. Relief. You think, wait, I understood that. And in that moment, your confidence starts to come back. This is where real learning begins. Not in difficulty, but in clarity. When your brain understands simple English, it becomes relaxed. It becomes open. It starts to connect words with meaning. And slowly, it builds a strong base. This base is very important. Without it, everything feels hard. With it, everything becomes easier. Let me share a small story with you. There was a learner who always chose difficult English. He believed that if he listened to advanced content, he would become better faster. But every day, he felt more confused. He could not follow the sentences. He could not enjoy the process. One day, he decided to try something different. He chose a very simple video. The sentences were slow. The words were easy. At first, he felt strange. He thought, "This is too easy for me." But he kept listening. After a few minutes, something surprising happened. He started to understand full sentences. Not just words, but complete ideas. He did not need to stop again and again. He did not feel lost. He felt connected. And for the first time, he enjoyed listening. He smiled. He felt proud. And that small moment changed his direction. From that day, he stopped chasing difficult English. He started building his confidence with simple English. And slowly, his understanding grew. You can do the same. You do not need to prove anything to anyone. You do not need to choose hard content to feel serious. Real learners choose what helps them grow, not what looks impressive. If something is too fast, slow it down. If something is too difficult, make it easier. This is not weakness. This is intelligence. This is how you train your mind step by step. A P-Pan start with simple sentences. Listen to slow audio. Choose content where you can understand at least some part. Even if it is small, it is enough. Because every time you understand something clearly, your brain learns. It remembers. It builds connections. And these connections become your strength. I want you to feel this deeply. You are not behind. You are just starting the right way now. You are giving your brain what it needs. You are building confidence, not pressure. You are learning with clarity, not confusion. And this changes everything. Going through NW. And here is the most beautiful part. When you understand even one sentence fully, something powerful happens. That sentence stays with you. It becomes part of you. You can remember it. You can use it. You can feel it. And that one sentence becomes a door to more understanding, a door to more confidence, a door to real English. So do not rush. Do not compare yourself to others. Do not chase difficulty. Choose simplicity. Choose clarity. Choose progress. Because when you take this path, step by step, day by day, you are not just learning English. You are becoming someone who understands, someone who feels confident, someone who moves forward without fear. And trust me, this is only the beginning. Chapter 4. One sentence can change everything. You do not need 100 sentences today. You do not need a long video. You do not need to understand everything at once. You need one clear sentence. Just one. And I want you to feel how powerful this idea is. Because this is where real change begins. Not in pressure, not in speed, but in clarity. One sentence can give you something that 10 unclear sentences never can. It can give you confidence. It can give you control. It can give you a feeling that says, yes, I understand. Think about your past experience. You listened to many words, many sentences, maybe even long videos. But at the end, what stayed with you? Very little, maybe nothing. And that is not your fault. It is because your brain cannot learn from confusion. It learns from clarity. It learns when something makes sense. It learns when it can connect sound with meaning. And this connection happens best when you slow down and focus on one simple sentence. Now imagine this moment. You play a short sentence, something very simple. I am going to work. You listen once. You catch a few words. You listen again. This time, you understand a little more. You listen again. Now you see the picture. A person is getting ready. A person is leaving home. A person is moving with a purpose. Suddenly, the sentence is not just sound. It is a scene in your mind. It has meaning. It has feeling. And this is the moment when learning becomes real. You stay with that one sentence. You do not rush. You do not jump to the next one. You give your mind time. You listen again and again. Not in a boring way, but in a focused way. Each time, your understanding becomes stronger. Each time, your confidence grows. And slowly, something beautiful happens. That sentence becomes easy for you. It becomes natural. You do not need to think too much. You just know it. This is what most learners miss. They move too fast. They collect many sentences, but they do not own any of them. They hear a lot, but they understand very little. And because of that, they feel weak. They feel unsure. But when you focus on one sentence and truly understand it, you feel strong. You feel clear. You feel like you are making real progress. Let me speak to you honestly. You do not need big steps right now. You need small wins. And one clear sentence is a big win. When you understand it fully, your brain celebrates. It says, I can do this. And that belief is everything. Because once you believe, you continue. And when you continue, you improve. Now let me show you something deeper. When you listen to one sentence again and again, you are not just learning words. You are learning rhythm. You are learning how English sounds. You are learning how ideas are connected. You start to feel the language, not just hear it. And this feeling is very important, because language is not only about words, it is about meaning and emotion. Take a simple sentence again. I am feeling tired. Listen to it slowly. Hear the tone. Imagine the person. Maybe they had a long day. Maybe they worked hard. Maybe they need rest. Now the sentence has emotion. It is not just grammar. It is not just vocabulary. It is life. And when you connect with it like this, you remember it easily. And here is something very powerful. When you understand one sentence deeply, you can use it. You can change it. You can make new sentences from it. I am feeling happy. I am feeling excited. I am feeling nervous. One sentence becomes many. One idea becomes a system. And now you are not just listening, you are building your own English. This is how confident speakers grow, not by rushing, but by building strong blocks. One sentence at a time, one clear idea at a time, and each small success gives them energy. It pushes them forward. It removes fear. It replaces doubt with belief. I want you to imagine yourself doing this every day. You take one sentence. You listen. You understand. You feel it. You repeat it in your mind. You connect it to your life. And slowly, day by day, your English becomes stronger. Not because you did something difficult, but because you did something right. You are not in a race. You are building something real. And real things take time, but they also last. When you learn like this, your English stays with you. It becomes part of your thinking. It becomes part of your daily life. And now I want to ask you something that can change your direction again. But what if you could use that one sentence in your real life? Imagine saying it. Imagine feeling confident while saying it. Imagine using it in a real moment. That is where everything starts to come alive. And trust me, you are closer than you think. Chapter 5. Bring English into your daily life. You do not need a special place to learn English. You do not need a perfect time. You do not need long hours. You already have everything you need, because your daily life is your best classroom. This is the moment where everything becomes real for you. Not in a book, not only in a video, but in your own life. And when English enters your life, even in small ways, something powerful begins to happen inside you. Right now you wake up every day. You eat. You walk. You sit. You check your phone. You go outside. You come back home. These are simple actions. You do them without thinking. But what if I tell you that each of these moments can become English practice? Not hard practice. Not stressful practice. Just natural, simple, real practice. This is where learning becomes easy. because it becomes part of your life, not a separate task. Imagine this. You stand up in the morning, and you say in your mind, "I am waking up." It is a small sentence, very simple, but it is real. It is your moment. Then you go to the bathroom and you say, "I am brushing my teeth." Again simple, again real. Then you sit to eat, and you say, "I am eating breakfast." You are not studying, you are living. But now, you are living in English. At first, it may feel strange. Your mind may say, "Why am I doing this?" But stay with it, because something very important is happening. You are connecting English with your real actions. You are not just hearing words anymore. You are feeling them in your life. And this connection is very strong. It helps your brain remember. It helps your brain understand faster. Many learners keep English inside books and videos only. They listen for a few minutes, then they stop, and the rest of the day is silent. No English, no connection. So their progress is slow. Not because they are not trying, but because English is not part of their daily world. But you can change this. You can bring English into your world, step by step. You do not need long sentences. You do not need perfect grammar. You just need simple phrases. I am going out. I am sitting. I am walking. I am drinking water. These are small, but they are powerful, because they are real. You are not forcing yourself to speak about something you do not know. You are speaking about your life, and your life is always clear to you. Let me tell you something important. When you use English in your daily actions, your brain starts to relax. It does not feel pressure. It does not feel fear. It feels safe. And when the brain feels safe, it learns better. It opens. It accepts. It remembers. This is why children learn language so naturally. They connect words with life. And you can do the same. There was a learner who used to study English only at night. He watched videos for 1 hour, then stopped. He felt tired. He felt confused. He did not see much progress. One day, he tried something different. He started using simple English during his day. When he opened the door, he said, "I am opening the door." When he walked outside, he said, "I am going outside." When he sat down, he said, "I am sitting now." At first, it felt small, but after a few days, something changed. He started to remember sentences without effort. He started to feel more comfortable with English. He did not need to think too much. The sentences came naturally, and slowly, his confidence grew. He was not just a learner anymore. He was someone who used English in real life. And that feeling is very powerful. I want you to feel this excitement. You do not have to wait to become perfect. You can start today, right now, with your next action. Look around you. What are you doing? Can you say it in English? Even if it is simple, it is enough. Because every small sentence you use is a step forward. Do not worry about mistakes. Do not stop because it feels strange. This is your journey. This is your practice. And every time you use English in your life, you are building something real inside you. Something that stays. Something that grows. And here is the most exciting part. When you start using English like this, your brain begins to change. Words become easier. Sentences come faster. Understanding becomes natural. You do not feel lost anymore. You feel connected. You feel in control. And this is the moment when English stops being a subject and starts becoming your language. So take this step. Bring English into your life. Not tomorrow, not later, today, in your next moment, in your next action, because this simple change can lead you to something bigger than you imagine, and you are already on the way. Chapter 6. Your brain starts understanding naturally. Something beautiful is starting to happen inside you, even if you do not see it clearly yet. You are listening more. You are using simple English in your daily life. You are repeating small sentences again and again. And slowly, quietly, your brain is changing. Not in a loud way, not in one big moment, but in many small, powerful steps. This is how real learning works. It grows from inside, and one day, you suddenly feel it. At the beginning, everything felt hard. You heard English, but it did not stay. You tried to understand, but your mind felt slow. You needed time to think. You needed time to translate. Every sentence felt like work, and sometimes it felt too much. But now, something is different. You listen, and you catch more. You hear a sentence, and it feels a little familiar. Not perfect, but closer. And that small feeling is very important. This is what repetition does. When you hear the same kind of sentences again and again, your brain starts to recognize patterns. It starts to remember sounds. It starts to connect words with meaning, without asking you for too much effort. At first, it is slow. You may not notice it, but it is happening. Every time you listen, your brain is building something stronger. Think about it like this. When you hear a new word for the first time, it feels strange. You do not know it. You may forget it quickly. But when you hear it again, and again, and again, it becomes familiar. It feels easier. It feels normal. And one day, you hear it, and you understand it instantly. You do not stop. You do not think too much. You just know it. This is not magic. This is your brain learning in the natural way. And here is something very important. When you keep listening to simple and clear English, your brain stops translating slowly. At the beginning, you may hear a sentence in English, and your mind quickly moves to your own language. You try to find the meaning there. This takes time. This makes you slow. But with regular listening, something changes. You start to understand directly. English goes to meaning, not to translation. And this is a big step. You may not even notice when this change happens. It comes quietly. One day, you are listening, and suddenly, you understand a sentence without trying. You do not stop the audio. You do not think about each word. You just understand. And in that moment, you may feel surprised. You may even smile, because for the first time, English feels easy. This moment is very special. It is a sign that your brain is learning naturally. It is a sign that your effort is working. All the small steps you took, all the simple sentences you listened to, all the times you repeated and stayed patient, they are coming together now. You are not forcing your brain anymore. Your brain is helping you. Let me speak to you from the heart. If you stay consistent, this moment will come to you. It is not for special people only. It is not for fast learners only. It is for anyone who continues. Even if you feel slow, even if you feel unsure, if you keep going, your brain will adapt. It will learn. It will grow. There was a learner who felt exactly like you. He thought he was always behind. He thought he would never understand fast English. But he did one thing right. He stayed with simple English. He listened every day, even for a few minutes. He repeated sentences. He used them in his life. And one day, while watching a simple video, He realized something. He understood almost everything. Not perfectly, but clearly enough. And he did not even try hard. It just happened. He paused the video. He sat there quietly. And he felt something new. Not confusion, not fear, but confidence. He said to himself, I understand. That moment changed how he saw himself. He was not a struggling learner anymore. He was someone who could understand English. You are moving toward that moment. Every day you listen, every time you repeat, every small sentence you understand. You are getting closer. Do not rush. Do not compare. Trust your process. Because your brain is working, even when you feel nothing is happening. And here is something even more exciting. When words become automatic, your mind becomes free. You do not spend all your energy trying to understand. You can enjoy the content. You can follow the story. You can feel the emotion. English becomes something you experience, not something you fight. This is the moment when English stops being difficult, but something even bigger is coming. Chapter 7. From Listening to Speaking. This is the moment you have been waiting for, even if you did not realize it. You have been listening. You have been repeating simple sentences. You have been patient with yourself. And now, something powerful is ready to happen. Your listening is slowly turning into speaking, not in a forced way, not in a stressful way, but in a natural and beautiful way. And I want you to feel this deeply. You are closer than you think. At the beginning, you were quiet. You listened, but you did not speak. Maybe you felt shy. Maybe you felt unsure. Maybe you thought your English was not good enough. So you stayed silent. You told yourself, I will speak later. I will speak when I am ready. But that moment never felt close. It always felt far away. And silence became your comfort, but also your limit. But now something has changed. You have listened to simple English again and again. You have heard the same patterns. I am going. I am eating. I am feeling happy. These are not just sentences anymore. They are becoming part of you. Your brain is remembering them. Your mind is getting used to them. And slowly, without pressure, these sentences are preparing you to speak. This is how language works. First, you listen. Then, you understand. Then, your brain stores patterns. And after that, speaking begins. Not perfectly, not fast, but naturally. When you hear something many times, it becomes familiar. And when it is familiar, it becomes easier to say. You do not need to create sentences from zero. You already have them inside you. Imagine this moment. You are sitting alone. You just listened to a simple sentence. I am going outside. You pause for a second, and then, very softly, you say it. I am going outside. Maybe your voice is low. Maybe you feel a little nervous. But you said it. And that small action is very powerful, because it is your first step from listening to speaking. You do not need to speak loudly at the start. You do not need to speak to people immediately. You just need to start. Even if it is alone, even if it is quiet, even if it feels small, because every small sentence you say is breaking your silence. And once silence breaks, confidence begins to grow. Let me tell you something honest. Speaking is not about knowing everything. Speaking is about using what you already know. Many learners wait for perfect grammar. They wait for big vocabulary. They wait for confidence to come first. But confidence does not come before speaking. Confidence comes because of speaking, even small speaking. There was a learner who listened every day, but never spoke. He understood more and more, but his voice stayed silent. One day, he decided to change something small. He said one sentence out loud, just one. I am sitting. It felt strange. It felt new. But he did it again the next day, and again. Slowly, his voice became stronger. His fear became smaller. And one day, he realized something important. Speaking was not scary anymore. It was natural. You can do the same. You do not need big sentences. You do not need perfect pronunciation. You just need simple phrases. I am tired. I am hungry. I am ready. These are easy. These are real. These are yours. And when you say them again and again, they become automatic. You do not think too much. You just speak. And here is something beautiful. When you repeat simple phrases, your brain learns the rhythm of English. It learns how sentences flow. It learns how words connect. And slowly, you start to create your own sentences. You change words. You add new ideas. And without even noticing, you are speaking more. I want you to feel this power. You are not starting from zero. You already have something inside you. Every sentence you listen to is helping you. Every time you understood something, your brain saved it. And now, it is ready to use it. Do not wait for the perfect moment. Do not wait for confidence to come first. Start with what you have. Start with one sentence. Start today, because the moment you speak, even one simple sentence, you become different. You are not just a learner anymore. You are a speaker in progress. And yes, you may make mistakes. That is okay. Mistakes mean you are trying. Mistakes mean you are growing. Do not be afraid of them. Every strong speaker you see today made many mistakes. But they did not stop. They continued, and that is why they improved. Now listen to this carefully. You do not need perfect English to start speaking. You need something else. You need courage. Just a little courage. Enough to say one sentence. Enough to try. Enough to begin. And once you begin, everything starts to change. Chapter 8: Confidence over Perfection. You have been waiting for the right moment. You have been telling yourself, I will speak when I am ready. I will speak when my English is perfect. And maybe that moment never came. Maybe you kept learning, kept listening, kept thinking, but your voice stayed quiet. Not because you cannot speak, but because you were waiting for perfection. And today, I want to tell you something very real, something very freeing. You do not need perfection. You need confidence. Perfection is heavy. It puts pressure on you. It tells you that every word must be correct. Every sentence must be complete. Every sound must be perfect. And when you believe this, you feel fear. You feel nervous. You feel like you must not make a mistake. So what do? You stay silent. Because silence feels safe. But silence also stops your growth. Confidence is different. Confidence is light. It tells you, it is okay to try. It tells you, it is okay to be simple. It tells you, you can speak, even if it is not perfect. And when you feel this, something changes inside you. Your fear becomes smaller. Your courage becomes stronger. And your voice begins to come out. Let me ask you something honest. When a child speaks, do they speak perfect sentences? No. They make mistakes. They say words in the wrong way. But do they stop? No. They continue. They try again. They speak without fear. And that is why they improve so fast. Not because they are perfect, but because they are not afraid. You can learn from this. You do not need to be perfect to speak. You need to be brave enough to try, even if your sentence is simple, even if it is not complete, even if you feel unsure. Because every time you speak, you are training your mind. You are building your confidence. You are moving forward. Many learners think grammar is everything. They believe that if their grammar is not perfect, they should not speak. But real communication is not about perfect grammar. It is about sharing your idea. It is about expressing yourself. If someone understands you, that is success, even if your sentence is simple, even if it is not perfect. Imagine this moment. Someone asks you a question in English. Before, you would stay silent. You would look down. You would feel nervous. But now, you take a breath. You say something simple. Maybe not perfect, but clear. I am going home, or I like this, or I am learning English, and the other person understands you. That moment is powerful. That moment is real progress. There was a learner who always waited. He learned many rules. He studied grammar again and again, but he never spoke. He was afraid of mistakes. One day, he decided to change one thing. He said, I will speak simple English. I will not wait for perfect sentences. The first time he spoke, his voice was shaking. His sentence was not perfect. But he said it. And something amazing happened. The other person understood him. They smiled. They responded. And in that moment, his fear broke. He realized that communication is not about perfection. It is about connection. From that day, he started speaking more. Not perfectly, but confidently. And his English improved faster than ever. You can have that moment too. You can feel that freedom. You can speak without fear. But you need to let go of perfection. You need to accept that mistakes are part of learning. They are not your enemy. They are your teacher. When you make a mistake, you learn something new. When you try again, you become stronger. When you continue, you grow. This is the real path. Not perfect sentences, but real practice. Not fear, but courage. I want you to imagine yourself speaking. Not perfectly, but confidently. You are using simple sentences. You are expressing your ideas. You are not stopping because of fear. You are not thinking too much about mistakes. You are just speaking. And in that moment, you feel something new. Freedom. This is what confidence gives you. It removes the fear. It opens your voice. It allows you to grow. And once you feel it, you will not want to go back to silence again. So from today, make a small decision. Do not wait for perfect English. Do not stop because of small mistakes. Speak simple. Speak real. Speak now. Because your voice matters. Your progress matters. And every small sentence you say is a step towards something bigger. And now, you are closer than ever to becoming a real English speaker. Chapter 9. Your new listening life starts today. This is your moment. Not tomorrow, not next week. Right now. You have come this far. You have seen your struggle. You have felt confusion. You have felt silence. But you also started to understand something new. You saw that listening is not just hearing. You learned that simple English works. You felt the power of one sentence. You started to bring English into your daily life. And now, Everything is coming together. This is not just learning anymore. This is your transformation. Think about where you were before. You pressed play, and you felt lost. You heard sounds, but you did not understand. You felt slow. You felt behind. Sometimes you wanted to quit. That feeling was real. That pain was real. But you stayed. You kept going. And now, something is different inside you. You are not the same person anymore. You are someone who understands more. You are someone who listens with attention. You are someone who is ready to move forward. From confusion to clarity, this is your journey. At first, everything looked difficult. Now, you can understand simple sentences. You can follow ideas. You can feel the meaning. It is not perfect, but it is real. And real progress is what matters. You are not guessing anymore. You are understanding. Even if it is small, it is strong. From silence to understanding. Before, your voice was quiet. Your mind was full of doubt. You listened, but you did not trust yourself. Now, you are different. You listen, and you connect. You hear a sentence, and it makes sense. You are not afraid of English anymore. You are starting to feel comfortable, and that feeling is powerful. Now I want you to see something bigger. Listening is not just practice. It is building your new identity. Every time you listen, you are shaping your mind. Every sentence you understand is changing how you think. Slowly, English is becoming part of you. Not something outside, not something difficult, but something natural. You wake up, and you can think simple English. You hear a sentence, and you understand it. You see something, and you can say it in English. This is not a dream. This is a process. And you are already inside this process. You are building a new version of yourself. A version that understands. A version that feels confident. A version that does not run away from English, but moves toward it. Let me paint a clear picture for you. Imagine yourself 1 week from now. You are listening to a simple video. This time, you are not lost. You understand many parts. You smile because it feels easy. Imagine yourself 1 month from now. You hear someone speak English, and you follow the idea. You do not panic. You stay calm. You understand, and imagine yourself later. You are living your life, and English is part of your day. You do not think, I am studying. You feel, I am using. This is your new listening life. Simple, daily, real. You do not need long hours. You do not need pressure. You just need consistency. A few minutes every day, 1 sentence at a time, 1 moment at a time, and these small steps will create something big. I want to speak to you honestly. You are not far from fluency. You are closer than you think. But there is one thing that makes the difference. It is not talent. It is not intelligence. It is not even time. It is starting. It is choosing to begin, and then not stopping. Many people watch videos. Many people learn about English. But very few people take action every day. Very few people stay consistent. And that is why many people stay stuck. Not because they cannot learn, but because they do not continue. But you are different. You are here. You are listening. You are learning. And now, you have a choice. You can go back to your old way, or you can start your new listening life today. Not perfect, not big, just real. Start with 1 sentence today. Listen to it. Understand it. Feel it. Use it. Tomorrow, do it again. The next day, do it again. And slowly, you will see change. Not suddenly, but clearly. Not loudly, but deeply. You will become someone who understands English. Someone who feels comfortable. Someone who listens without fear. And that is a powerful identity. So do not wait. Do not delay. Do not doubt yourself. You already have what you need. You just need to start. Because the only difference between you and a fluent speaker is that they started.